Okay. Um, One thing I've been telling myself to do while I can. I know it is draining when it comes to making videos. It's hard to function with limited energy because they do so much to break us down, target visual. But I know that me doing this is my purpose at this point. I will continuously address my targeting and the different, very repetitive ways they've been manipulating me, tormenting me, and the systematic ways they've been try to break me down from psychologically to also physically. But the physical aspect is easy to kind of to see what's happening because literally you see your body just fading away. You see your bones looking different. You walk differently because of the bone structures are changing. You're seeing your skull structure changing. Even the skull head. Like I can these things that looks different and some deformations, which is obvious that they do whatever they're doing to my body to make me have this kind of new bone structure. Um, and it's nasty. But I've understood what I'm really, what they've put me in, what program I'm in. I know who put me in this program. I have no doubt about it. As much as they try to create these psyops and create this false reality of what they want it to be. So I'm a target individual. You hear this TI term said a lot. There's a lot of TIs across this country and across the world, but in this country especially, at least there's a lot that you can hear about, right? And you hear their testimonies. If you search for them, you'll find a bunch of testimonials from different people, men, women, and children from all type of life. And so it's kind of at this point understood that governmental entities are running this program, and it just makes sense that the reason why this is happening to target individuals is because they're looking for subjects and they're using subjects to continuously improve and develop this technology that can do so much to people. These people do some terrible, foul things to people. I mean, disgusting things. And for me, they use these childlike individuals who are supposed to agitate you because you truly see them for what they're involved in. And they think that with enough repetitions, disorientation, somehow you're going to think this is whatever they presented themselves as. Now, as a target individual, like I said, you're a human subject. A human subject in this extremely sophisticated technology, and that is ran by this governmental entity, intelligence community specifically. And they've been doing this for years, decades of just using human beings to continuously improve this technology and this program. And how refined this technology is unbelievable, and the ability of the manipulations you can experience. They contract people around you or create these people, an ecosystem of people who are mostly civilians. And these people obviously have protocols of things they do, which a lot of repetitions, and the way they try to present themselves. Now, at this point, you understand that they are very gimmicky, meaning that they try to create an environment that is kind of fabricated. They even act accordingly to try to present this false fantasy, this reality they've created. In this program, there's a lot of women being tortured in so many disturbing ways. I mean, horrible ways that you wouldn't believe that is happening. That it would take a while to even accept and process that this is truly is what's happening to this woman. Now, it would be bad if they were doing that to men, but the fact that people as vulnerable as they are, that they're torturing in these disturbing, disgusting ways, you couldn't believe it that it's true. But these people doing this to you are truly involved in the program that does this to even women and children. Now, at first it would be like unbelievable. It's like, I can't believe that they would be. But you understand that these tactics have once things are done in this state of group and community like ways, that means they can do so much to somebody and with less guilt, because it's a group thing. They've normalized this, right? When you hear like, in just genocides and things like that, when a group of people all together they do some horrible things to even babies, the reason why they can do that is because as a group they have normalized these things and think that this is okay, and that's why they can do these things. And that's why when I listen to those testimonials of women, and they like describe, it's like there's a lot of females doing this to women. What kind of women are you? You're not even like. And I'm like, it's because within this community that they've created of people doing that, they've made this the norm, and they truly try to normalize these things. So they go into they create this like blockade of reality that is just BS. So that's why when I see them, I truly see them for the low life that they are, to try to counter reality. Now what they do to me is disgusting and foul. For example, for me, the foulest things at this point, of course, they do horrible things to my organs and my body, but the psychological torments for me has been the most disturbing. The way they've made me look at kids are just so disgusting. From the babies to the older kids to teenage kids. It's funny, yesterday they were doing this thing. They have this way of timing things, right? Because this is a very well orchestrated program where things are aligned to be manipulated in certain ways, so you can experience things in these ways and try to make you see yourself as something you're not. So everything you're gonna continuously hear like the timing of things, the way it's part of, that's how sophisticated this technology is. This, once you're in the program, your whole life is orchestrated, and that's when this is not just these neighbors who talk and have money. It was these people are delusional, like they're just the bottom feeders individuals, and their job is to really try to distract you from reality, try to make you think of this as everything but the reality of what it is. Right, you obviously know this is a program very extremely well ran and organized, but by these entities and organizations in the government that have been doing this for decades and decades. And you understand the Department of Defense, you understand this like really very like specialized agencies are involved. And yes, even though these bottom feeders are here, this contracted trash are just the civilians. As contracted trash, they are involved in this program, and then they just follow the protocols, which are very well organized by these governmental entities. So I understand. So when I see the nobodies doing things to me in these ways, involving themselves, I understand you just like a little nothing in this. Like you can be replaced by tomorrow. Like a child can do what you're doing. Like a baby can do what you do, and nothing's gonna change for me. This is how sophisticated this program is, and you have to understand this. To all my target individuals, I know it's so easy for us to try to kind of see things in a different ways, because it's designed in this, it's created in this ways, to kind of see this as something else but the reality of what it is. We have to understand at this point, it's obvious that this is governmental, organized and controlled. And yes, for me, I'm a religious person, and I do believe in the higher beings, and I think that this feels biblical, definitely, but this is not something that is magical or a cult or something. Is a very well systematic program that can do so much. The how the technology is so unbelievable in regard of the sophistication that is one can only believe. The only thing that is just, it's almost religious. I truly know that this is how sophisticated this technology is, and I understand that these entities have been working on it for a long time, and they were going to continuously use more and more subjects to continuously make this technology more and more sophisticated. And of course, these bottom feeders, more bottom feeders will be contracted to do what they're supposed to do to create those results they need to create. And I see them as that. And it's foul. So for me, as a target individual with what you call V2K and synthetic telepathy, that means that when you hear those words, V2K, synthetic telepathy, it means that at that point, things becomes extremely more sophisticated. You hear the projected voice of the perps that can be directly implanted in your brain. That you can hear them directly. And some of them can sound like they're just next door, but some of them are not even next door, but sound like they're just next door. They sound like they're outside in the balcony, but they're not. They can create these voices. Well, when they project their voices, it can sound like it's just there, like, or right close to you, or like they can make that felt like it's very close. And this is a fraction of how like sophisticated this technology is. The more sophistications are what else they do once they like, you hear about capturing your brain signals, right? They have now have the ability to rewire you and make you experience things that you will not experience naturally. Sensations, perceptions, thoughts, dreams, reactions in ways that you yourself naturally will not be experiencing it. But because this technology is that extreme in the level of sophistication, they can make you perceive, react, think in any ways they want. And with time, it's like it becomes more and more ingrained, and it's definitely hard to just notice between your original thoughts and those thoughts. Everything becomes blended in, and that's what they do. And so then they try to make you accept these things that you know. So obviously, there are some thoughts that you for sure you know yourself. The obvious things that you know is not you, they'll try to make you subscribe to this. It's like, no, it's you. We proved that, we exposed you. One reality, they are making you experience these ways of reacting, of perceiving. They make you experience these ways of thinking and reactions, and then try to make you be subscriptive of it. Those are the extreme obvious things they manipulate you. But let's just say I have the thought of taking a shower. That's the thought I had before. How do I know if those are my thoughts or the thought they make me experience? You see, those are the things that I'll never know. But when it comes to like you look at somebody and I'm getting this weird perception stimulations, for me it has been a very pedophilia-centric way of tormenting me. A very disturbing ways of tormenting me using pedophilia type of torture. Right? As I'm saying that, those contracted bottom feeders that lives around you, their job is to try to disorient you, because I keep saying the things that they don't want me to see as. They want you to stick in that fantasy land that they've created, where I should be subscriptive of these manipulations. And so somebody, when I speak in these ways and able to put things in the right perspective, they try to disorient you by saying something, opening your door and saying something loud to disorient you. Those are the tactics purposely done to try to disorient you, because they've been using these tactics of pedophilia type of torture. And it's so nasty. And of course, there's nothing unique about my torture than this. Like they do that to others. For example, yesterday, they were talking about like, I knew it was gonna be like I woke up and they had me have some dreams, and they like to play with your libido. They like to make you feel sexual stimulations and just kind of disturb you with those sexual arousal they make you experience. They use sexual arousals as a tool to kind of disturb you. And so you can only imagine that this is aimed toward children to break you down. They want you to be pushed to suicide, and they want you to accept that these things is happening naturally, when you obviously know that they have the ability to make you feel sexual arousals in all kind of different ways. And then you hear these people living around you try to make you feel guilty of what they've made you experience. It's obvious. And so yesterday, for example, I wake up and I know that before I went to sleep, all of a sudden I was listening to my own videos. I do listen to my own videos because what happened is, as my brain fades out, And the reason why I record the videos I make sometimes, not only to just share my testimonials, is also a way to go back and listen to what was happening to me in real time, because at this point it's gone too far. So I'm listening to that, and I kind of doze off, right? As I wake up, I'm start listening about stories about like a child actors, right? There's some child actors, where they are now, where they, when they were, where they are now, what's happening to them. And it's funny. I was like, oh, I know what they try to do. I was like, they try to like turn things into peripheral things. So I go to bed, I sleep, and I wake up, and I'm wanting to listen to the video I was listening to, but I remembered the last thing that was happening is they wanted me to look at this video about actors, old child actors who are now adults, and now where they are, whatever. And so I remember that coming up, but I was like, let me just calm down, because when I woke up, they were playing my sexual arousal, my libido. And it's like, if I pick up my phone and I see a child, they're gonna aim that stimulation toward the child. I was like, let me chill. And I wait, my libido goes down a little bit, and they're the one controlling it, right? So they kind of slow it, make it lower. It's like, okay, this is better. It's not that intense. Let me look at my phone. I look at my phone, and then this like popular Disney actor that's actually my age. She's like the same generation as me, but it's her when she's like a teenager, when she was popular. And I'm like, you guys are delusional. This is like, and of course they try to create some kind of perceptions. They try to create battles in my brain and try to make me think of, how you see her, is like, and try to make me think how you see her when I was her age, because we're about the same age, right? So like we're about in our 30s now, and how we see if I was her age, and try to create a perception in the sexual, not even just sexual, but just a way to look at her in a way that's appealing, right? And try to use my brain, not even try to make me imagine if I was her age, or when I was around her age, watching her shows, right? And try to create that, and try to make me a way to look at her in a sexual way, or in a way that's appealing to. It's just so nasty, right? Try to play with your brain. I know it's falsified. I will not look at her, oh my God, the stimulation. Of course, I remember seeing her the before and after and all that, and now they just give me stimulations and even manipulate my memories of that. But I'm like, yeah, this is the things they do. They try to manipulate you to make you feel acceptive in these nasty ways. It's just nasty. And they're like, oh, we lost, because they think that, with me, I understand my brain is their subject, and they can play and manipulate me to experience whatever they want. They are playing with my brain and doing whatever they want. They can make me experience it. But now the thing is, as a target individual, you should understand, do not accept and subscribe to these false ways of perceiving things, because they control those perceptions, and they're going to try to make you perceive those moments, this person, the way they want you to perceive that. If it's a child, they're going to do whatever they can to make you see this person in a sexual or a way that's appealing, that gives you a sensation of some sort, to try to be like, oh, you see, that's you. It's foul, but that's what they've been doing. And I've been saying the same thing since 2020. If you go into my first channel, you'll see that I've been talking about how my perceptions have been manipulated since then, right? Since it started. And for me, the day before that, I was gang stalked and whatever, noise campaign, but it wasn't, the day all of that started, where my perceptions, the way I experienced things changed, was on August 19, 2019. That's when everything changed. And since then, they are even trying to play with my memories, manipulate me, try to rewire me, manipulate me, get me to feel this way. It's a lot of manipulation and fabrication, and make me react a way that I will not naturally react, and try to make me accept these ways by rewiring my memories, and make me perceive a memory a way that they make me experience today. And then you hear these bottom feeders around you who are doing their best to try to make you accept these things. And so the best thing I can do to try to combat is taking screenshot of things. Try to put things in perspective by taking screenshot and be like, this is not how I look at This is not how I perceive this. You are making me experience it in this way. You're changing my perceptions, and you're changing my memory of my perceptions. And my memories are fading away. And they are changing my memories to experience what I'm experiencing today. And, you know, in my brain, they try to create these battles. Because, for example, right now, what they're doing, right? They're trying to make me go into my memories and make me think of some teenager or somebody else, and then try to give me some stimulations there, and basically see we're mapping to what you're experiencing today. And in my brain, you know, they try to, it's so funny. They like, that's how complex it gets, right? They make me think of like these teenage kids when they have those filters, and try to and go in my memories and try to create it and change it. It's like, this is crazy. And see, we mapped it. It's a lot of just fabrication and the way they manipulate you. And so the best thing I do to try to kind of have a resemblance of who I was is try to look at this, what they mess with me, and like make a video about it. That's the best thing I can do. And it's fun. And with time, it's been 4 years. Yes, it's been 4 years. Just this month has been the fourth year of me being a target individual with V2K and synthetic telepathy. Meaning that since that day, 4 years ago, I have not been myself. I have not been reacting the same way. I have not been perceiving things the same way. I've been just rewired, manipulated. And these tactics are not unique to me. That's why when you see my videos, you hear people talking about, oh, they're forcing me to get this program perversion aimed toward children, teenagers, all of that. Everything has been said by others. And they do their best to try to get you to accept all kind of battles. And I know it's not going to go well for me. I will never be myself. I've been too rewired to ever be me. And they try to gaslight you. Oh, you're such a liar. I was like, oh, wow. The bottom feeders. You understand? They even, as sophisticated as the technology is, the gaslighting tactics are very, very basic sometimes. And I'm sure it's meant to agitate you. But the reality is, you become validated because when you express yourself, you hear the same people talking exactly the same way you're talking about. Saying that they're making me experiencing these things in this perverse way. I cannot even look at a baby, and of course, a teenage kid is going to be even worse because that's closer to an actual adult. So they truly try to get you to accept these things. It's foul. So to all my target individual, understand yourself and know yourself. Understand that your brain, if you're a target individual with synthetic telepathy and V2K, you will never be yourself anymore. Do not go with whatever memory, thoughts, ways of perception, and logic. Their job is to try to make you accept this rewired version of you. And you gotta be strong. And so for me and my purpose, I will continuously make videos and show this is how they make me experience things. So stay strong and know that justice will be done.